Minutes or so, as the music plays, we invite you to just close your eyes, relax, rest in the presence, and hold space.
Ganapataye Namo Namaha. Ganapataye Namo Namaha. Ganapataye Namo Namaha. Jai Ganesha Gananatha Dayaniti Sakala Vignya Karadura Hamare. Jai Ganesha Gananatha Dayaniti Sakala Vignya Karadura Hamare. Ganapataye Namo Namaha. 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 Omega Dantaya Vidmahi Vakratundaya Dhimahi Tanno Danti Prachodayat. Ganapataye Namo Namaha. 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 Jai Ganesha Gananatha Dayaniti Sakala Vignya Karadura Hamare. Jai Ganesha Gananatha Dayaniti Sakala Vignya Karadura Hamare. Ganapataye Namo Namaha. 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 Om Vakratundaya Mahakaya Suryakoti Samabhava Ganapataye Namo Namaha Gam Ganapataye Namo Namaha Jai Ganesha Gananatha Dayaniti Sakala Vigna Karadura Hamari Jai Ganesha Gananatha Dayaniti Sakala Vigna Karadura Hamari Ganapataye Namo Namaha 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 Suklam Bharadram Vishnu Sasivarnam Chaturjam Prasannavadanam Dhyaye Sarvavignyopashantaye Sarvavignyopashantam Ganapataye Namo Namaha Ganapataye Namo Namaha Ganapataye Namo Namaha Ganapataye Namo Namaha Ganapataye Namo Jai Ganesha Gananatha Dayaniti Sakala Vigna Karadura Hamari Jai Ganesha Gananatha Dayaniti Sakala Vigna Karadura Hamari Ganapataye Namo Namaha Ganapataye Namo Namaha Ganapataye Namo Namaha Ganapataye Namo Om Ekadaya
Namaste. Welcome to our weekly online satsang. Satsang being a Sanskrit word that means literally community of truth. But it applies to any meeting together of two or more people on the path of awakening and the flowering into higher states of consciousness. When we come together to share our journeys, our challenges, our ups, our downs, our strengths, then, it helps us exponentially. But that's a satsang. It's important to be part of a spiritual community, so we encourage everyone to find one. This isn't a formal membership. This is, we have people join us in these satsangs from all over the world, from different spiritual traditions, teachers, teachings. What we have in common is the journey of awakening and transformation. And this is something you can always connect with, because we're always here pretty much on Monday nights. God willing and the creek don't rise, as they say. But we also encourage you to find some group or another person locally that's sharing this ongoing experience where you can come together and share insights and share challenges. You can pray for each other, share blessing with one another. Along those lines, throughout these satsang webcasts, we share something called the Flowering Heart Blessing, which I just found out we were originally calling the Flowering Heart Light Transmission.
Oh.
Blessing sounds less presumptuous, but it is. It's a light transmission. The Flowering Heart Blessing is a transmission of divine light, presence, awakened consciousness, and it's very catalytic. It initiates that experience of the indwelling divine presence, and when we make that connection and open ourselves to it, it begins to just flower and unfold inside of us. Sometimes I like to say it goes supernova, and that light begins to shine from the inside out, illumining our spiritual layers, clearing and healing and reordering our soulish layers, thought, emotion, programming. Our physical bodies brings healing and transformation. It shines out into our relationships and brings healing and restoration to them, which is always lovely. So grateful for that. Because it is initiated from within. The Flowering Heart Blessing tends to avoid some of the pitfalls of there's so many forms of blessing on earth right now, transmissions of divine consciousness and presence to accelerate the awakening process, because it's so necessary for humanity right now. The Flowering Heart Blessing, first of all, it comes directly from the divine. So it misses out on getting filtered through a spiritual hierarchy or a religious tradition or a particular master or an organization. It comes directly from source, but it awakens our connection to enlightened consciousness and to the divine at the center of our own being. It turns out we're the ones we've been looking for. We kind of knew it, but the Flowering Heart Blessing makes that come alive in people, and it avoids the pitfall of becoming excessively dependent on external teachings and teachers and practices and places of power, which seems to be part and parcel of the journey for many of us, only to discover one day that the light we saw in our teacher's eyes, in their aura, was a mirror that was reflecting to us our own light. But we, I'm not that. I can't be enlightened. I can't be one with the divine, but that great teacher can. So we gaze and meditate on the presence that's radiating from the enlightened teacher, only to discover eventually that it's a mirror reflecting our own inner light. And the journey requires at some point that we turn that vision around and we dive into the center of our own being and discover our true sacred divine self. And so might as well just start out there, Why beat around the bush? Let's go right to source within. So the Flowering Heart Blessing is a wonderful gift that we've been sharing for the last 8 years, although I guess it's been around forever as far as I can tell. And you're soaking in it right now. So if you enjoy the presence and the energy that you're experiencing through the webcast, please join us, because what we've come to understand is that by receiving just one Flowering Heart blessing, you're initiated for it to flow through you to others. So just take an intention and invite the divine to pour the blessing through you, and join us throughout the webcast. Where our intention is for the blessing to flow to all those who are joining us tonight, and anyone that will ever watch this video in the future. And there are lots. There are more that watch it afterwards than those who do it live with us, which is always exciting to me. Which is why I ask, please give us, if you're on Facebook Live, a heart or a thumbs up, or some nice face. The angry one we could do without, but if you're angry, whatever. We'd just like to know you were here. And we go in at the end, and I go in each day from Monday to Monday and see who's come in to connect and watch the videos. So please, let's hold that intention for those that are with us tonight. Love, 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 and those who will be tuning in down the road. Are there any announcements?
No.
I think that was a nope.
That was a nope.
Okay. So we like to open it at this point to questions and answers about the spiritual journey. It could be about your meditation practice. It could be questions you have about awakening. What is it? What does it look like? Divine union, past lives, future lives, parallel lives. Anything that's on your mind, really. We'll take any question. I'm not saying we can answer every one of them, but I don't think we've ever dodged any in all these years.
Well, if we didn't know the answer, we'd just say, nope, no idea.
Sometimes that's the clarity
That's still
we
an
need.
answer.
Some things remain mystery for a good reason. But when you ask a question for clarification, something you're interested in knowing more about, it nudges the divine presence to pour inspiration out through me and Suzanne and through some of you that helps the whole group. Mm-hmm. So I see they're already pouring in, but I have some quotes to read before we'll come back to the questions, and there'll be a few more minutes if you want to add to them. But each week I like to share these little articles and quotes from a website, inspiringquotes.com, which is sort of a daily newsletter I receive that has a lot of inspiration. The author tonight is Bennett Kleinman, a staff writer at Optimism, as well as a freelance comedy writer. He's based in New York City, and we thank you, Bennett, for this little article about, and quotes, 20 inspiring quotes for caregivers. Now, not all of you may be caregivers, but maybe as you listen to some of this, you'll discover, I think we're all caregivers, taking care of each other on the journey. So here's what Bennett says. Caring for someone else is one of the most selfless acts any of us can make, whether it be for a loved one, a friend, or even a stranger. From an extended hand to a kind smile, the smallest show of support can make an immediate difference to those who need it most. As caregivers, however, we also must look inward and be aware of our own needs. Self-sacrifice is what makes looking after others such an admirable task. But that doesn't mean anyone should put their own lives or well-being on hold in the process. The healthier and happier the caregiver, the more love, attention, and energy they have to give. For those who can afford to do so, stepping up to better the lives of others is a beautiful and rewarding act of kindness. as these 20 quotes, 20 attest. So let's dive in. Kindness can transform someone's dark moment with a blaze of light. You'll never know how much your caring matters. Amy Lee McCree. Try to be a rainbow in someone's cloud. Maya Angelou. Caregiving often calls us to lean into love we didn't know possible. Tia Walker. Too often we underestimate the power of a touch, a smile, a kind word, a listening ear, an honest compliment, or the smallest act of caring, all of which have the potential to turn a life around. Leo Buscaglia. No one is useless in this world who lightens the burdens of another. Charles Dickens. Caring for our seniors is perhaps the greatest responsibility we have. Those who walked before us have given so much and made possible the life we all enjoy. John Hoven. We rise by lifting others. Robert Ingersoll. Doctors diagnose, nurses heal, and caregivers make sense of it all. Brett H. Lewis. Be helpful. When you see a person without a smile, give them yours. Zig Ziglar. The more alert and sensitive we are to our own needs, the more loving and generous we can be toward others. Etta LaShawn. The happiest people are those who do the most for others. The most miserable are those who do the least. Booker T. Washington. If you're someone people count on, particularly in the difficult moments, that's the sign of a life lived honorably. Rachel Maddow. My caregiver mantra is to remember, the only control you have is over the changes you choose to make. Nancy Kreisman. It's not how much we give, but how much love we put into giving. Mother Teresa. Self-care is not selfish. You cannot serve from an empty vessel. Eleanor Brown. Remember, if you ever need a helping hand, you'll find one at the end of your arm. As you grow older, you will discover that you have two hands, one for helping yourself, the other for helping others. Sam Levinson. We're all just walking each other home. Ram Dass. Offering care means being a companion, not a superior. Judy Cornish. They may forget what you said, but they will never forget how you made them feel. Carl W. Buechner. The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. Mahatma Gandhi.
Nice.
See, I think by the time you get through that, you realize we're all caregivers.
Yeah.
Caring for ourselves and for each other.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Ooh, we got a lot of activity.
Namaste to you all. More, that is difficult. I do all my meditations virtual with you, with Sweden, Germany. Yeah. Well, and that's one of the beautiful reasons I think that we've been graced to be able to do these online satsangs and so many other presentations online. Became very obvious during the COVID lockdowns, which affected us internationally. The importance of staying connected through media, of all things, you know, and it's been a great tool. And so if we can't connect locally, we can always reach out and connect this way.
Right.
And it doesn't even take electronics. If the internet went down right now, we are all together in spirit, in the light. And all we need to do is open our hearts to that possibility, and we begin to experience the power of connection.
It's nice, though, that we were able to have some kind of interaction with the chats and asking questions and supporting each other and praying for each other. So it has a little bit more of a personal touch than just watching a video on meditation or, yeah, it's nice.
Yogi Bhadrapala says, mastermind satsang. More writes, people are so affected. They did a survey to ask if people thought that next year will be worse, same, or better. And more than 60% said that it will be worse.
Oof.
Only 19% say better. This is very important.
That is important because we're creating our future right now. Our thoughts, our emotions, our projections. And the more we're projecting a negative outcome to anything, the more likely we are to get it. So prayers and holding the world in prayer right now is a really, really critical time.
I think it was 2 weeks ago I shared a letter from Matt Kahn, in which he talked about some ascension symptoms going on right now. He thought it would be helpful to discuss. It would help a lot of us. And he mentioned how people are going from dark night of the soul sensations, swinging into spontaneous expansion back and forth. And what the heck is going on? He pointed to a time we are on Earth where the light workers are all involved in helping to process our own stuff, but also the collective consciousness as we are making a decision, individually and collectively, what timeline we're going to follow from 2023 into 2024. I threw out sort of as a joke, the divine said we can do this the easy way or the hard way, but we're going to do it one way or another. So we collectively are involved in this very difficult process of deciding a better future. And with the least amount of global conflict involved, which we have seen just multiplying all over the world, and not just in geopolitical and, you know, like wars, but climate change. However you understand where that's coming from, it's happening. And we're having storms the likes of which people have never seen, and people are feeling so insecure, so affected, that many people in the world are wanting to just put the whole thing into the hands of authoritarian leaders. And that could be religious, that could be political, that could be, there are different kinds of leadership, but there's something in human nature that actually social psychology has studied for years that find making decisions and taking action and responsibility for our own decisions, it can be so painful and so scary that we would just love to turn that over to another person, a wiser person, a stronger person, to tell us all what to do and when to do it. So there are all of these questions going on, but so many people have this sense, and this survey that you cite, that 60% of people are expecting next year to be worse. If we expect next year to be worse,
It will be.
what does that mean? You know? The old civilization of competition, conflict, and war must go. It's going to go one of two ways. We either let it go, or it just consumes itself. It's self-consuming, and it consumes a lot of us with it. So we've got to move to that new earth, that new global civilization of cooperation instead of competition, harmony instead of conflict, and peace instead of violence. We must make that shift. And we can do it the easy way or the hard way, but we're going to do it. And Matt Kahn said we're birthing a new humanity. Giving birth, I hear, is a crisis that's not easy.
Depends. There are people that
Yes.
don't, but yeah.
Yeah. So we're in that kind of thing, and we need to give people hope. I've heard people lately, several people have said to me, I've given up hope.
Or I don't believe in hope.
I don't believe in hope because they're thinking of hope as wishful thinking. And that's not what hope is. I mean, hope is a vision in the heart that has a confident expectation of something good that's emerging, something good that's coming. We're seeing the new earth. We're seeing the new humanity. We're seeing our own divine nature emerging. When you see it like that, and I'm talking about maybe you can't see anything at all, but you have this certainty in your heart that something good is coming our way. Faith hooks into that, and the working of spirit and manifestation. We must have hope. And I see so many people losing hope.
Well, and the problem with surveys and studies like that, statistics, polls, my initial reaction in my heart is I don't have enough information about that to make a decision on it because I don't know who was surveyed, what demographics, what location. I don't have all of the information, and oftentimes we'll hear stuff like that and we'll have an emotional reaction. My first emotional reaction was like, oof. But I went oof because the more people that read that survey or are exposed to it, they tend to side with the majority of things. And so that makes it even harder for them to have
We're
hope.
famous for siding with the minority.
Yeah, people are.
You can count on us.
Anyway.
When it comes to like pessimism versus optimism.
Right. And the other thing about that is the more of us that shift into that point of view, what we're doing is we're not having hope. We're not having faith. We're not having trust in the divine. We're not coming from love and peace. We're coming from the mind and fear. And that's mostly the reason why people go into fear and expect bad outcomes or things to go wrong, is because they've lost that trust, or they never had it. They've lost their faith. They've lost a connection to something higher than themselves. And so that's why the spiritual work that we're all doing together is so incredibly important right now. Because the more that we heal, the more we can help others heal. Just like those quotes on caregiving, the more free we are, the more nurtured we are, the more out of fear we are, then we can be relaxed enough to actually see what's around us and what needs attention and help.
Maury continues, people don't believe in miracles, good things to come.
Right.
Which is why we need to share our miracles.
Yeah.
And share the word, whatever the living word of divine light that's become alive in us, in our lives. We need to shine it. We need to rise and shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord is risen upon thee. For behold, darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people, but the Lord shall arise upon you, and his glory will be seen upon you, and people will come to the brightness of your rising. And your hearts will see it, and they will be thrilled and enlarged with joy. for seeing that vision. That was Isaiah, all the way back in Isaiah chapter 61, telling the people to see it, see this. If you see it, it will begin to happen. So we got a job.
Yeah, we've got to keep our eyes on the prize and keep our emotions towards goodwill and peace and love and kindness. We've been helping a 94-year-old friend of ours. He was needing a lawyer, and a member of our community, we remembered, does legal work, and she stepped right in. He was just desperate. He's a retired lawyer, and everything has changed so much since he was practicing law 40 years ago, you know. But he, I was talking to him tonight, that he found somebody and everything's clicking into place, and he said, oh, I'm just so grateful for their help. I mean, I'm so grateful, and I can put this aside now, and it's all being taken care of, and I don't have to worry about it. He said, he said, I'm going to have to take you guys out to dinner or something. And I said, you know, they already said that just helping was enough. And he goes, oh, that's what this world needs. It needs more people helping people and paying it forward and being kind and stepping in when help is needed. He said, that's what this world needs. And that was just an hour ago that we had this conversation. But it's true, the more of us that are doing those things from the quotes, the more of us that are serving and helping and spreading joy and a smile and happiness, it makes a ripple. And I refuse for anybody to tell me that it doesn't matter, because we all know it does.
Yekaterina writes, hello, thanks for praying for me.
Okay.
We're praying with you.
With you.
And for you. And More and here's one. It said we don't sidestep questions. I skipped More's question right before. Is, what do you think about Gaza genocide? Well, that in itself is a point of view. There's no question. There's just a terrible loss of life going on. And I wrote a monk friend of mine when it first started to happen. All the action in Israel and then in Gaza. And we've spent time over there together and saw firsthand years ago the situation. And he simply responded, there are no winners in war. There are no winners in war. Pray for peace. So wherever there is loss of life through military violence, it is just terrible. And people can talk about what justifies this or that on different sides, but you know, we're innocent people. I mean, elderly, women, children, innocent people are losing their lives and have already on both sides by the thousands. This is just terrible. And this is part of the powder keg that's smoldering on earth right now. We must pray for peace, envision peace, proclaim peace, and we need to begin on this planet to defend those who are innocent and helpless. There's a psalm I love, Psalm 82. Psalm 82, it says, God, Elohim, stands in the congregation of the gods, and he calls them all together. And he says, what the heck is going on with you? All of you, I have declared you are all gods. And Jesus quoted that. And all of you are children of the Most High. And yet, the whole world is off its course. You need to defend the widows and the orphans. And you need to help the people. You need to rise up, O Elohim, and rule the earth because it says in the Hebrew scriptures that the divine gave humanity this incredible dominion over this planet, and look what we're doing. So Psalm 82 is a rebuke. And the last verse is like almost universally transformed. It ends with, "So arise, O God, and judge the earth, for all nations belong to you." It's still the divine speaking to the children of God. And it says, "Arise, O Elohim, arise, O gods, and govern correctly this world that you've been given." So,
The other thing about what are your thoughts or what's your opinion or any of that is that pulls us out of the heart space. I mean, we know that atrocities are atrocities, but if we take one side or the other, this one's right, this one's wrong, we're back in the mind, we're in chaos, we're in confusion, and we're in fear. So the more of us that are taking a strong stand on either side of any diopposed information or side, whether it be any area of your life, if you're not humbling down and going in your heart and saying, you know, what can I do to help? How can I be of service? And
I can already hear my Jewish friends angered by what you said. I can also hear my Palestinian friends
Exactly.
angered by. So what I want to say is,
I wasn't.
oh, well,
finished.
please.
Yeah. So what we have to do is check ourselves. We have to check on, just like, you know, this survey says, I don't have enough information to completely believe that. And then it depends on what news media you're listening to. It's not that atrocities are not happening, but depending on what you're listening to and how you're filtering that through and what emotions it entails, we can know how to pray properly if we're coming from our heart. But if we're coming from our mind and strong positions on either side, then there's still more inner work that we need to do, because that's what's causing the problems on the planet right now, is this duality, when we're really all one, and we're one with Source, and we are Elohim.
Okay, so let me try, because I already know we lost some people in that discussion that feel very strongly you must take a side. And the side I would like to invite everyone to take is for humanity.
Right.
For humanity. And how, whatever your place is in all of this and all of that, is we are family, we are humanity.
I just said that.
I'm just underscoring it.
Okay.
This is not a debate.
Okay, I wasn't trying
It's
to
just
debate.
I feel the inside of some of my Israeli friends and other friends, and that it's the shift I'm trying to put in there is against death and for humanity.
Right.
That's all. Whew. Boy, you really backed us into a conundrum there. Whew. I mean, I don't mind talking about this around the fire or in any personal discussion. And it's hard to remain apolitical and not take sides sometimes, depending on who's being hurt and what's happening with you and your family. So we understand that. It's just the bigger picture is we need to stop killing each other on this planet, and we need to begin to harmonize together and cooperate. And it's going where we are now. That requires miracles of transformation in consciousness and flowering of the heart. And I believe we are well able, and the divine is ready to assist. So, and Maury says, yes, remember the country in which I live. We do. So much collective suffering, and we do pray for the country in which you live as well. And Laura says, I'm taking a day off to spend time in prayer and self-care.
Nice.
And Joanne writes, hello everyone. And Maury writes, maybe they come all that collective suffering that has come with COVID-19, war and genocide. We need to keep our eyes on the answer.
Yeah.
To continue to meditate on the death and the sadness and the disintegration of human civilization, the more our hearts break down. If your eye is single on the light, you will be filled with light, and it will shine through you and guide you and will be part of the solution. We must be seeing by others as positive aliens. Okay, I'll buy that. Yogi writes, we're here to be helpful, to represent loving energy that created us. And Laura writes, laughing out loud, you too. That's probably when you thought I was like... No, I was just trying to send out just a little soothing vibe to some people we know that are strongly impacted on one side or the other, and that can be blinding. It really can be blinding. So, and I assume that's Jason, even though it's Talene's name. I'm glad Martin Luther King took sides. Yeah, you see, but the side is for humanity. It is for oneness. It is for the healing, which is possible. And that's what we need to put our eyes on. And I'm glad Gandhi took sides. Well, for peace and for non-violent resistance.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. And so if we're talking about siding with love,
Right.
siding with reconciliation and unity, yes, it is possible. So, whew. Yeah, I was almost wanting to, but I will, because I'll just take a real quick second bringing it up. But I've mentioned recently when we heard about it, because we were connected to some people that knew about this project. Tony Robbins brought a group of Palestinian youth in their 20s and Israeli youth to India, with the audacity of putting them in the same room together for like a week-long process. And when they saw each other, it like was breaking into fist fights, and it was just craziness, because these young people had both experienced horrendous things, traumatic things. And they went through this process together, where by the end of the week, they had come to a place where they forgave and loved.
It was a 21-day process, wasn't it?
It doesn't matter,
Yeah.
Zan.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. No, I don't think it was, actually. It might have been. But by the end of this process, they were hugging each other and loving each other and saying, we need to go back home and bring this message of love and forgiveness and reconciliation to all of our people. Now, I don't know how that worked for them, but I know the miracle they went through of transformation from being ready to kill each other to being in love with each other and realizing we're all family. So, yeah, and that's the side I take. Right. So, but I think Jason makes a good point that sometimes we have to stand up for truth.
Right.
Martin Luther King didn't stand up for division. He stood up for unification and equality. And Gandhi, he stood up for equality and peace in India, where there were these factions that were violently divided against one another. And his stand was to bring unity. Either you guys put down your stuff and stop fighting, or I'm not going to eat another bite. And so the leader of India, who was a saint, a living saint, went on a hunger fast in front of all the people, and they loved him. No, you must. He said, then you must stop, or I will eat no more.
And see, that's been my meditation that I've been going deeper on, is it's like we can all have opinions, we can all take stands from one side or the other, and I feel like my role on the planet and what I'm here for at this juncture is to go deeper into my stand for peace and my meditation and my prayers, and to have that have a ripple effect and be extra conscious of how my strong opinions and my emotions and how my programs and charges and reactive mind are going to have a ripple effect. Because the bigger as we grow as light workers, we have a bigger impact. So if we've been really involved in light work on this planet and then we backslide and get into a bunch of fear and negative emotions, that's going to have a bigger impact than it would for somebody that hasn't, their consciousness hasn't woken up yet. That's all I'm saying.
That's it.
That's it.
Laura added one more, which is kind of nice. Eye for eye, we all go blind.
Exactly.
The old saying, and that actually comes from scriptures too. An eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth, and that's what's been going on
Right. It needs
all
to
over the
stop.
world, but especially in the Middle East for millennia. And absolutely.
Yeah, love it.
Very nice. Okay.
Okay, that was fiery. Good
Well,
questions, though.
what's going on is
fiery.
And it's
Yeah.
legitimate
It
to ask
is.
the question, what do you think?
Right. It
And
led to a great discussion. Thank you.
Yep. So if you would close your eyes and open your hearts and invoke the divine presence. As we take a strong intention, the flowering heart blessing, the grace of the divine is pouring out to you. From within you, from around you, from above you, from all around you. This presence loves you unconditionally, just as you are, and yearns to melt away the suffering and fill your heart with the light of awakening and transformation. Simply receive. Allow the divine light to do its work in you, to free you, to heal you. The divine knows exactly what you need before you even do. So just receive. Drink in the grace of the presence. As the divine presence continues to work on you, visualize us sitting in a circle together, filled with the presence. With your eyes closed, lift up your hands with your palms open, and let us invite the divine to pour the blessing of divine grace through us to all the others, as it comes back to us through them. Let us focus our attention on the Middle East and take a strong intent together for peace. Peace. Peace in the hearts of all the people living in the Middle East, melting away the anger, the fear, the hatred, the venom, and replacing it with divine love. God makes war cease to the ends of the earth. He breaks the bow and snaps the spear and burns the chariots in fire, and in its place, peace. Peace. Let us shift our attention to Ukraine. The same intention that all the people in the region, all the surrounding countries and people would be filled with divine love, that their hearts would melt, that all fear, anger, venom would melt away, and the hearts filled with divine unconditional love and peace. 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 Let's zoom back and see the whole planet again. For these problems are occurring all over the world. So let us take a strong intention for divine grace to melt the heart of humanity, to dissolve all of the fear, hatred, and anger, to bring awakening to humanity and the flowering of the human heart with unconditional love and compassion throughout the world. May all of humanity be flooded with the grace of awakening and transformation. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Now you can relax, rest your hands in your lap, and when you're ready, open your eyes. And begin to make direct eye contact with Suzanne and or me as we dive into the light meditation. Suzanne and I are flooded with oceans of divine grace, light, and love. And it pours through all of our being to you, especially through our eyes, which mystics have called the doorways of the soul. Just keep making direct eye contact, gazing at least one of our eyes, that's enough. And the light will stream out through our eyes, into your eyes, deep into your heart of hearts, causing the light of awakening and the flames of divine love to burn brighter, brighter, brighter. Now keep meditating as long as you like, or find a spot nearby to lie in Shavasana, a wonderful yoga pose where you just find a comfortable place to lie on your back. Close your eyes. Let your arms be loosely at your sides with the palms open, turned upward, and just dissolve in the presence of gratitude. We love you very much.
Much love, light, and blessings.
It is always such a joy to be with you till we meet again. Know that the divine in us beholds the divine in you, and we bow to you.